So today we're going to focus just on branching. Our objective is I can add 3-digit numbers with regrouping with branching. So I'll do the first one as a reminder, and then after that you'll do the next ones with me. So our first problem is 145 plus 7. Our first step is to build our addends. So we're first going to build 145. So I have 100, 4 tens, which would be 40, and 5 ones. My second addend is just 7. So I would put my 7 in the ones. Now my next step is to combine my ones. So I'm going to add 5 plus 7. I know that 5 plus 7 equals 12. But we also know that we can't have 12 ones. So I'm going to take this 110 and move it into my tens. Now let's combine my tens. I don't have any from the second addend, so I just have 40 plus 10, which is 50. And then let's move on to our hundreds. I only have the 100 for my first addend, so it's just 100. So now remember how this is kind of like our expanded form. So I can look at this as 100 plus 50 plus 2, not 12 because I already used my 10 and my tens. So 100 plus 50 plus 2, that means my sum is 152. Okay, so now it's your turn to do it with me. So go ahead and draw out your hundreds, tens, and ones chart. Now that you have that drawn, let's put our first addend in our chart. Our first addend is 42. Do you have any hundreds in 42? No? So let's move on to our tens. How many tens are there? There's 4 tens, which has the value of 40. And then you have your 2 ones. All right, go ahead and add in the second addend. Remember that goes below the dotted line. All right, did you add in 300 in the hundreds, 80 in the tens, and 2 in the ones? Okay, our first step now is to combine our ones. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Now I need to move to my 10. So I have 80 plus 40. So what I like to do is I like to think of this as 8 tens plus 4 tens. So 8 plus 4 is 12, but it's 12 tens. And we know from our place value practice earlier this week that 12 tens is 120. But now remember, I can't have hundreds in my tens, so I'm going to take this 100 and move it into my hundreds place value. So now when I combine my hundreds, I have my 300 and my 100. 300 plus 100 is 400. So now let's look at our answer. I have 400 plus 20 plus 4. So 42 plus 382 equals 424. Let's do the next one. Go ahead and draw another hundreds, tens, and ones chart. Once you have your chart built, go ahead and add in your first 2 addends, 461 and 245. Go ahead and pause the video, and when you have your addends built, come back and we can walk through those next steps together. All right, so you should have 461 and 245. We need to combine our ones. 1 plus 5 equals 6. Now let's combine our tens. Remember, I can think of this as 60 plus 40. I can also think of this as 6 tens plus 4 tens. which would be 100. Can I have 100 in my tens though? I can't, so I need to take my 100 and move it into the hundreds place. Now we're going to combine 100, 400, and 200, which will give us 700. Now, as I'm looking at my expanded form, I have a 7 in the hundreds. I don't have any tens, do I? So I'm going to use a 0 as the placeholder. And then I have 6 ones. So our sum is 706. Let's move on to our last one. We're going to solve 164 plus 588. Go ahead and pause the video and draw your hundreds, tens, and ones chart and try this one all on your own. And then when you finish, come back and we'll check your answer. So your first add-in should have been 160 and 4, and your second add-in should be 580 and 8. Now let's combine our ones. 8 plus 4 equals 12, but I know I have to move this 10 into the tens. Now I have 10 plus 60 plus 80. So in my head, I'm going to think 8 plus 6 plus 1, because it's 8 tens plus 6 tens plus 1 10. And I know that would be 15 tens or 150. We can't keep this 100 in the tens place though, so we need to move it in with the hundreds. And so now I have 100 plus 100 plus 500, which would be 700. So our answer is 752. How'd you do on that one? Okay, your independent practice for today is to practice our addition with regrouping using branching. So a couple days ago, we did this with our base 10 blocks, and today you're going to do it with branching. So I have our hundreds, tens, and ones chart built for you. You'll put your add-ins in and then combine your ones and then your tens and then your hundreds. Don't forget to regroup when you need to, and then you can have your answer down here, but also don't forget to write it on the blank next to the problem. When you finish, please turn it in to Edgenuity.